now it is time to talk about modern day. My question to you is, in order for it to be truly epic and make it the story we have never got in a game, what needs to happen in the ultimate, this is in caps, ultimate modern day story in your opinion?
Are we talking about just one game or like in general?
Let's just say that you also mentioned it a bit earlier. You'd like to maybe to see a Daisy game fully set in modern day, and let's just say that it's the final Assassin's Creed game. This is like, at least on the modern day end, this is like the battle for Earth. There may be some lore I'm not up to date with, but Juno is a threat to the Earth, and Juno is like there, and the modern day assassins need to do everything they can to protect the Earth. So it's this huge battle for the planet. Let's say it's something like that. Let's start it off like that.
Yeah, I mean, well, then to do it justice, you would make it a full game. And
absolutely.
You would have built up to it in a lot of previous games and have a lot of unique gameplay and scenery, and I don't really know what else to say. You'd have to do it in its own game.
You'd have to do it in a full game. The problem with that would maybe a game only set in modern day would be maybe it would start feeling too modern, maybe like a Watch Dogs game, and that's something I definitely maybe you'd have to set it in a more like a less advanced part of the world, technological.
No, I know what you mean, and it's definitely something that would have to be addressed some way or another. Why it's not just a shooter, like a cover-based shooter. But I don't know. I don't have, like, I personally don't have the blueprint for a good modern day game, like exactly how all the mechanics would work and everything, and still keeping it feeling like Assassin's Creed. But somebody out there does, and I want to see them make this game. I guess that's kind of more the thing I'm getting at. I couldn't really tell you exactly how to fine-tune the gameplay so that it feels good without turning into just a cover-based shooter. But whether it's Patrice or someone else out there, somebody out there has it in them to make a really amazing, spectacular modern-day Assassin's Creed game, and I would love to see them do that. I don't expect Ubisoft to invest the resources in it, though.
That's absolutely also it, because Assassin's Creed has always been about the past, history, not the modern day. The modern day has always just kind of been there as like a sidetrack that you need to go back in history to do this and this. And I saw some videos Assassin's Creed Universe once made how Assassin's Creed 3 could have been the ultimate Assassin's Creed game. That's also kind of where my inspiration for this topic came. And they definitely mentioned modern day there, that the conclusion to Desmond's story could have been that much more epic. Like, a huge fight in the end between like Juno, Minerva, and Desmond. And Juno using her powers and stuff like that, and make it like that much more epic. And I will say ever since Unity, the modern day in general has just kind of fallen flat on its face, and they definitely, I hope to see that in Origins. They need to revive it strongly, if it's even possible to do, because most of the modern day stuff happens in like the comic books, like the the expanded Assassin's Creed universe nowadays.
Right.
Because I will say that, I kind of, I didn't play the games. I became an AC fan like late 2014, early 2015. And the first one I played was AC3, so I haven't like played the games as they came out and kind of followed the story that way.
Got it.
But still, I'm sure that that you play at AC1, you're really caught in this modern day, like who is Subject 16 and who's Desmond, and then that really just continued throughout the Ezio trilogy. You learn more about Subject 16 and Desmond and this whole end of the world apocalypse thing, and you need to save the world, and then that's what AC3 is about. But then already in AC3, it kind of like Desmond's death isn't as epic as it could have been. It isn't as like worthy as it could have been. It really just, you need to touch this. You will save the world. Rather let the world burn than letting her out to the world. And Desmond touches it and dies. Okay, to be honest. And then in Black Flag, we kind of explored the legacy a bit, which I thought was interesting. And the different audio tapes. The last one, which was actually kind of emotional. Goodbye, Dad. Like Orson Welles once said. Actually, kind of that was actually kind of touching. But then after that, the modern day, the whole Desmond legacy just kind of fell flat on its face. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Yes. But, we are beginning to learn about Desmond's son now, from what I can hear. There was, like, in Syndicate, some stuff there.
Yeah.
Which I think can definitely play a major role in the future. I hope, at least, to say the least.
I wish they would just cut that shit out.
Yeah, because...
Like, honestly, just let Desmond and his legacy rest. We don't need Desmond's son. I'm still kind of in shock that they're actually even doing this.
Absolutely.
But we'll see where it goes, I guess. I'm not a fan, though.
I will say, however, if there is this huge modern day story with, like almost a semi-apocalypse thing with Juno, like causing havoc all over the world, I definitely want to see Desmond's legacy play a part. But I'd say the thing I want to explore more is Subject 16. Is that just me?
Yeah.
Am I seriously the only one who liked the glyphs so much that I like to see more of Subject 16?
No, there's plenty of people who would agree with you.
But let's agree that the glyphs were like one of the coolest side missions ever.
Yes.
They're so like creepy in a way that it feels awesome. Like you have chills down your arms and spine, and it feels so dark. But you enjoy it. And Subject 16, I'm ready to go. I can't do it anymore. It's just you really feel the struggle. And then the whole video with Adam and Eve you unlock, it also just really, I guess, catches the power of the first civilization. You get a quick glimpse of someone holding a piece of Eden, and that just feels like awesome in a way. What could be cool to explore, or not necessarily cool, maybe just for a sense of satisfaction, kind of to close that era. Subject 16, in Brotherhood, he says, find Eve, her DNA, the key, and then, he fades away. What did that mean? And I definitely would like to explore, like, the origin of the first civilization, is really what I'm trying to say. I'd definitely like to learn more about that.
Yeah, that could definitely be a cool game in and of itself, or something to explore in future modern day settings and stuff.
Absolutely. Because, just that video, like 30-second, 45-second video we unlock when having unlocked all the glyphs in AZ2, it just opens a lot of mystery, and this is where I might not know that much about the lore, but is there anything mentioned about that in, like, the comic books, like Last Descendants or Templars, stuff like that?
Sorry, the stuff about Eve?
Yeah, like the whole first civilization origin, Eve, stuff like that.
I'm not 100% caught up on all of the comics yet, but not quite so far. No.
Yeah, because they, really in general, it's about the origins of the first civilization, and if that could also be in the past, I just like to explore more about that, like the mystery about them, the origins of the pieces of Eden. And kind of maybe, if it's possible, get some backstory on some of the events we already know. Because I just like to say, like, Glyph's Return, like kind of that mystical mission. Because it doesn't have to be related to Subject 16. It just feels, awesome. And I love them both in Brotherhood and AZ2. I think we all
Yeah.
did.
For sure.
Absolutely, and Subject 16, I loved his character too, but he was, you know, like sent off in a satisfying way. You know, he died. He got deleted there on Animus Island, didn't he? In Revelations.
Yeah, it's a little.
It's a little.
I mean,
we don't know. I mean,
it's a little hazy, but something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was destroyed, and then it gets restored, and I remember. Oh God, man! When I was playing through Revelations, oh man, what if this isn't available after the story? I still have to get those achievements and complete like the Desmond journeys. So the fact that it's restored is kind of, it's a nice way to say, oh, Desmond is back. Oh, he made it. Oh, phew. But still, it wasn't necessary. I mean, the game could still have worked if it had been destroyed permanently. And also, I guess if I want to know more about Subject 16, I can go on and play the Lost Archive, which I have yet to play.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Lost Archive, yeah. But it's that. I feel like modern day in general, it's a thing of the past. I honestly feel like it may be, because in Syndicate, I was so disappointed. I'm not gonna lie, I was. I thought, you know, we were gonna have a third person or a first person guy. We were actually gonna be able to move around and not just watch some cutscenes. I'm sure you agree with me.
Well, yeah, I just didn't have super high expectations, so I wasn't super surprised when it was just cutscenes, but I'm still disappointed.
Yeah, but the graphics were amazing, just speaking of that, and it was definitely nice to see, like, Sean, Rebecca, people like those return, which I had wanted to see for quite a while.
Yeah,
that was nice,
sure.
And also characters like Galena. Was that her first appearance, actually, or had she been introduced before? Galena.
She was introduced in Initiates.
It was so nice to see her and stuff like that, and like see Otto Berg and what is that woman's name? Who's in Rogue and
Violet?
Violet DaCosta. That's her. Yeah. It was also nice to see like her and I still think Otto Berg. You know, I know it's explored in comics, but I think he's an interesting character too.
Yeah, no,
who
for
I definitely
sure.
like to see more of. Like, his past is explored in some comics, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't know about his past, but his present is being explored, and stuff's happening with him.
Definitely, and he's just an interesting character in general. The whole with Otto Berg, and I definitely also like to see just Sean and Rebecca return in general, because they're interesting characters, and we never got to know what happened to Rebecca at the end of Syndicate. I mean, I thought she died for a second. She just got seriously wounded or something.
They talk about it in one of the books for Last Descendants.
Last Descendants. Oh, if I can find time to read those, I probably should. It's just I have so many other things going on.
Yeah.
And I'm more of a seeing than reading guy, so but I guess I could. But yeah. It's all on Ubisoft, to be honest, and that modern day is that it doesn't really catch our interest, really, because they kind of ruined it themselves. Or
oh yeah,
they drove the train off the tracks, if we can say off the track.
Yep, for sure. Because definitely on them.
Yeah. Because the Desmond games kind of fell flat in the end in AC3, and I just would have liked also just, you know, a more sentimental goodbye between William and Desmond, to say the least. I was so disappointed. It was like, come with us, we'll find another way. I have to do this. And then they just go. Like, at least they could have given, like, a father-son hug, like we've seen in, like, movies. And, you know, they could have cried and, I love you, Dad. And that's kind of just where it was so satisfying to find that audio log in Black Flag.
Yep.
Desmond even crying, I love you, Dad. So, yeah. And you know, we had you first person, but that's kind of done now, I believe, and same goes for like the cutscenes. that we had in the Helix games. Let's call it that. So I don't really know modern day. I definitely like to see a modern day story return. It's just it may not have a lot of have a lot of juice.
Yeah, they gotta make a lot of changes to get it back on track, and we'll see what happens.
And I also remember, I think we actually talked about that last year during the AC movie special, that, you know, there were some, what was it, the Phoenix Project? You know, that they introduce it in Syndicate, and then they just close it off in a comic book like only 5% of the community have heard of, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no, I'm not crazy about them doing things like that. I think they should close those kind of things out in a video game if they bring it up in a video game.
Yeah, I mean, the Phoenix Project, wasn't that a doctor, that Mexican guy trying to recreate a precursor? Was that the Phoenix Project?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and that was so interesting. Like, the end of Syndicate was a bit like spooky. I will save you all. And then they just closed that off in a comic book, apparently, like, okay, so much for the buzzkill.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. But to answer what the question was, just to start off with, I guess I'd like to see a story where Juno is getting her revenge on planet Earth and humankind, and a small group of modern day assassins are, you know, trying to do everything they can to defend her, and they need to go to the Animus to find, you know, this one piece of Eden that will be able to destroy her. It sounds pretty interesting now that I just say it.
Yeah.
I think. So yeah, but I think there's definitely some things we need to, you know, fix first in modern day and continuity-wise, lore-wise, comic books, stuff like that. But it could definitely be interesting, and I think, you know, potential. As you said, blueprints, they're out there somewhere. You know, the recipe to making a great modern day game. So yeah. Alright, do you have anything to add to this?
No.
Alright. So that is pretty much all the questions I have for you. Now, after discussing this for 3 whole videos, do you have any questions for me before we wrap this anniversary up?
No, sorry, I hadn't thought of any.
That's completely okay. Alright then. Then I just want to thank everyone for watching and listening to this 1-year anniversary special edition episode of The Memory Corridor, and I hope every single one of you enjoyed listening to me and David discuss this huge, ultimate topic as much as we enjoyed discussing it. Not that it wasn't fun, but it wasn't as ultimate as I had hoped, but we still covered some interesting spots, I think, and we opened up new doors, especially when it came to the multiple choice thing. Yeah. Now, to stay up to date on everything The Memory Corridor and more things Assassin's Creed, like my Assassin's Creed photography, I call #Creedography. I post on and off. Links to my Twitter and Instagram will be in the description below should you be interested in checking that out, along with links to David's social media pages, as I also said in part 1 of this episode. Now, if you guys have any feedback and or topic ideas for the podcast here, feel more than free to share them with me in the comment section below, as like I have said for the last year, it probably will go a long way in the process of making these episodes, not only for myself, but possibly for you listeners as well. Now, once again, thanks times infinity for watching and listening, everyone. I hope to see all of you again for future episodes, and until those come out, stay safe, active, everyone, and keep this community, legendary community, what it is. Also, thanks to Mr. Loomer, aka David, for guest starring on the episode. I hope you enjoyed discussing this with me, and hope you to see you reappear for a 3rd time sometime. It was a blast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks once again. No problem. And finally, I just want to thank all of you listeners for listening to these episodes for the last year. Your support has really been amazing, and I hope it's only something that will continue in the future. And it has just been super fun, considering this is like a low-key channel, and I really just do this for fun. Seeing comments like, when is the next episode coming out, it really feels awesome. And I'm sure you guys can understand that. And then, of course, I also want to thank everyone that has been with me discussing these topics on these episodes. It has been a pleasure meeting and talking to all of you about so many nerdy Assassin's Creed things. and interesting things. And even though these episodes haven't been released that often, it has still been super fun recording, editing, and releasing these episodes for you people. And every single one has been unique in its own superior way. Now, that sums it up for 1 year of Assassin's Creed topic discussions on the Memory Corridor. Here's to another one. Stay safe and active, everyone. Until next time, Assassins, peace.